Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to make a bit of an opinion video, kind of a thought video about the larger camera market. And I hope that the camera market gets a message from what's happening with particularly the X100V. So this video is entitled, Why I Want More Hype Around the X100V. The X100V is the latest camera in Fujifilm's X100 line, which has always been really popular for like the last 10 years, but this camera has been something else, and what it's done to the market and the Fujifilm brand has been quite interesting. So I've entitled the video, Why I Want More Hype Around the X100V. Just to give you an idea of the hype, I think used cameras in Fujifilm's line, if you try to find them on eBay or whatever, they're up a couple $100 across the line. But the X100V, it retails at $1,400 US, I believe, but they're selling for like $2,000 used on eBay, right? So everyone wants one, everyone wants to get their hands on one. Why do I want more hype around the camera? Is it because I own a used copy and I'm trying to sell it? No, I don't own one. I own the X100F, the one that came before this one, but not the V. And is it because I just like to watch everybody pay exorbitant prices for used cameras? No. Am I supporting the price gougers? No. Why do I want more hype? It's because I hope the camera industry gets a message from this, a message that's important to shooters like myself. And when I refer to myself and shooters like me, what I mean is photographers who care about small, compact, well-designed, you might even say premium cameras that are kind of those everyday carry cameras. And if you're probably familiar with that term. Photos for taking everywhere you go, capturing memories, just documenting your life, right? I hope the camera market starts to pay more attention to people like that, because the X100V has proven that there is a market for these small, compact, somewhat premium cameras. And it seems like every manufacturer has forgotten that except for Fuji, and you could argue Leica, but like the Leica Q3, first of all, it's not that small of a camera when you really actually look at it, and it's in a price tier of its own, right? So I'm talking about the cameras probably $1,500 and below that are premium, that are compact, that are kind of small enough to take everywhere. And I think the X100V has proven that there's a demand for these cameras, and I would love to see the manufacturers start to bring them back, because I feel like for a really long time they've been neglected. So I personally have been a micro four thirds shooter for a while now, and a lot of that has to do with the size. You know, I want good image quality, of course, but size I think is king when it comes to my priority list, because I am kind of one of these carry a camera everywhere kind of guys to capture memories of my life and to document things that are important to me. And I also fall into the category of somebody who wants a dedicated camera. I will not take photos on my phone. I hate the ergonomics of it. I hate the touchscreen. I want physical buttons. I want a physical camera, right? It's not about image quality. My phone takes great images, right? That isn't what bothers me. It's about the actual tactile device that I use to take the images. So I want something small that I can carry everywhere, but I also want something a little bit more on the premium side, you know, maybe something that's technologically up to date, and something that is designed as a small camera rather than just the leftovers of the market. And that's what I'm hoping the manufacturers see in the X100V, is that there are people who want these small cameras and they're worth making, because people will buy them, because there is a market of people who don't want to shoot with their cell phones, right? They want the camera experience. And so the problem with the camera market, in my opinion, is that a lot of times the smaller cameras that are released really are like the leftovers of the market. You know, Sony comes out with their A7R series and their A7 series, premium high-end cameras, $2,000 plus, and then they release these bodies that are like the A7C, A7CR, which were just recently released. So it's like there's nothing new in them. They're basically just recycled parts into a new body. And this is what Canon does as well. They have their R5s, their premium models, and they got these like cheap, plasticky, junky cameras that they kind of release that are smaller and more budget friendly. And You know, sometimes they put that into kind of like a rangefinder-esque style body, and they release it, and they're like, oh, look, a small camera for people who care about size. But it's like, it's just an afterthought. What I would love to see is manufacturers going back to like dedicating their time to releasing special smaller models like the X100v, like the Sony RX1, which they haven't released since 2015, like the Leica Q3, but cheaper, please. Like the Olympus Pin F digital, if you're familiar with that, in the Olympus Micro Four Thirds space, like the Lumix G9X Mark II in the Lumix Micro Four Thirds department, something like the Sigma FP with a little bit more functionality, right? But that kind of size, functionality for photographers, I mean, you know, slap an EBF on there somehow. Even the premium 1-inch sensor market, which has been basically neglected completely for the last 5 years. People are showing through the X100V hype that there is a demand for these smaller cameras, and I hope this is the message that the camera manufacturers get. Lumix just recently announced their new Micro Four Thirds camera, and Micro Four Thirds has always been known as being the compact option, but it seems like recently even Micro Four Thirds has abandoned kind of small camera models. I think a lot of people wanted to see the G9X, the smaller rangefinder style body, released with the new G9 Mark II, but it didn't happen, and Lumix doesn't show any signs of actually releasing something like that. I don't doubt that the market for small cameras is smaller because there are those people out there who will take photos on their iPhone, right? Like, more power to you, go for it if that's your thing. But I hope what the X100V has shown is that if you can create a great premium compact camera, people will spend their money to buy it, and there is a market out there for it. So I'd love to see manufacturers returning to something similar, right? Maybe not all manufacturers, but especially the Micro Four Thirds companies. Like the cameras that they've released lately in the smaller sizes are just recycled parts of their larger cameras, like the Olympus, or sorry, the OM Systems OM1. Like the EM5 line has always been their smaller line, and it's basically just like a bunch of old parts that they toss together in a smaller body. It's like, make something that people are proud to carry around, and that is the X100V. So that's why I want to see more hype around the X100V, is because maybe manufacturers will start to pay attention to their smaller bodies again. I don't want to carry around a Nikon Z9. I don't want to carry around a Lumix S1 full frame beefy camera, right? Please, please, please make something for those of us who like smaller cameras, and make it good. Like, actually, like, make us feel like you put some time into it, because right now our options are like Leica, the X100, which no one can buy, and then like the Ricoh series is pretty much like the only decent premium compacts that I can think of that aren't just afterthoughts of old pieces and plasticky bodies. So anyway, that's my rant. If any camera manufacturers are out there watching, or just so other people can commiserate with me, oh, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think. Maybe, you know, you think that this is a waste of time and camera manufacturers should just go back to doing what they're doing. Anyway, yeah. Let me know what your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you guys hopefully next week about whatever I want to rant about then. All right, bye.